Really proud of our guys. Nothing was easy today. Anticipated that coming in. And as much as anything, just impressed with the way the team stuck together. That first half was tough. Second quarter, right on through. But at halftime, I thought everybody was in a good place. Everybody was thinking the right way. And just, pleased with the way they did things and the way it turned out. Really everybody made big contributions. The defense played an outstanding game. It's one of the stranger shutouts that you'll see that way. They got involved in the scoring, Jay with that interception down in the red zone there for us, get us great field position. Obviously Weege with the punt return, and Reese did a really nice job with his punting, especially the plus 50 punting. Maybe I've been around where somebody's put 4 inside the 6 or 6 inside, so pretty impressive, especially for a young guy, so that was good. And, but 12-7 at halftime, it was a rough game, and that's what you expect in conference play. But, just to come out and play the way we did in that third quarter, really great. It's a credit to everybody, and you get 28 points. It makes life a little bit better. So really happy about that. Really happy with the way the guys responded all week long. They put a good weekend. Nobody was moping around or pouting, that kind of stuff. And I think the other good thing is that we still have a lot of things we can get better at, and a lot of things that we can maybe be a little bit more detailed on. So that's we'll start that work again tomorrow. But first and foremost, just encourage the guys to really enjoy this. They earned it. Wins in the conference are hard earned, and enjoy it tonight. Not too much and not too late, because we got a big week ahead of us. But I'll throw it out for questions. And last thing I'll just say too, what a great crowd again. Homecoming's always kind of neat, and you got a lot of things going on, I'm sure, on campus. But tremendous crowd. Couldn't have had better weather either. So it turned out to be a really nice day. I'll throw it out for questions.
John and then Elliot.
John Steffi, Cedar Rapids Gazette. What kind of prompted the decision, or what was kind of the thought process into making the switch to Brendan when you did, and is he now your permanent starting quarterback?
Yeah, we'll see on that. Permanent's a strong word, right? But it's like super glue or whatever. But yeah, I mean, we had already made the decision during the week that we were going to rotate Brendan a little bit, and about third, fourth series. So depending on how it played out, so it just worked out that way, and then he did a really nice job. And Cade was shook up also after the hit he took.
Hey Kirk, LA Club Hawkeye Beacon. How much did Brendan's mobility, did you think Brendan's mobility really opened things up for the offense and maybe made things easier, specifically on Caleb, who had a great second half? Yeah,
that's a clear contrast, I think. That's one of Brendan's strengths. He's a really good athlete and really good at that. And then, the other thing is he commanded the game, which is, no matter what your style is as a quarterback, you have to do that. So, it was a really good outing, and I think we got into a little flow in the second half, and it was certainly encouraging. And there's give and take with everything you do, but really happy with the way he stepped in. Thought he played with great poise. I didn't think too much about it, but playing his former team, you always worry about emotions a little bit. Didn't worry too much about it, but didn't seem to be a factor either.
Scott Docterman, The Athletic. I wanted to kind of take you back to Sunday and then Monday. Sometimes teams, when their goals are kind of put on ice, they react certain ways. You guys haven't had to deal with this for a while, but sometimes teams just quit buying in, they move on mentally. How did this team not do that, and what made it to where they're focusing, even though whether it's a playoff, conference, whatever, it's kind of out of their control now?
Yeah, I mean, you may have figured it out, but I'm kind of a doom and gloom guy. Yeah. So I always come up with all the bad scenarios that could happen. And to your point, a couple things. I mean, the goal is to win every game. So, when we lost our first one, that kind of went out the window. I think you got to be careful about how you frame goals and, how openly you discuss them. And I think you have to keep things adjustable, especially when you play in a conference like this. So it's just part of the deal. But specifically, I did have the thought going back to 2003. We played Purdue, and that was our third loss that year. And I remember Grant's team really being emotional in the locker room, and it struck me. He was thinking about national championship, all that stuff. So, or the playoffs or whatever it may have been. And I kind of it struck me. I wasn't expecting that. So had that thought this week, but at the end of the day, that season turned out really well. We had a really good season. Guys did a great job, finished up strong, and so I think you just have to be flexible with your thinking that way, and you got to communicate that to your players. That it's still all about this week, and it's a week-to-week conference. I'll keep saying that because it is, and we'll do the counting, all the, math and all that stuff at the end of the year, but right now it's just about trying to do what you can each day, and then hopefully it shows up on Saturday that you did a good job.
Adam Jacoby, Hawkeye Beacon. Obviously, it's a lot easier said than done to send a captain like Cade McNamara to the bench. How would you say that he handled, moving to the bench after that move was made, and what can you say about his leadership through all of his struggles through the season?
Yeah, he's been great, and can't say enough about that. He's been really good, and it was maybe an adjustment here last year. He was never healthy, but he's been great this entire year, going back to January, and he never got on track all a year ago, so that's hard, and that's really hard. But he's been tremendous. I don't know, we sent him to the bench, and again, this was pre-planned. We communicate with everybody, especially the parties involved, just what our plan was and why. And I didn't see it as a demotion as much as, like, Brendan's been doing a good job. We want to learn more about him, and we feel like we can move both of them. So keep our fingers crossed. And to that point, not that but I mean, a week ago Monday, I know it was a big topic. 2 weeks ago Monday, it wasn't a topic about who our quarterback was. So that's the nature of football, and you can't worry too much about that. And our job as coaches is to try to do what's best for the team.
Thanks.
David, then Dan.
David Eichel, HawkeyeInsider.com. Kirk, really quick, injury updates was Reese Van Der Zee. Did he exited the game, and maybe a couple other handful of nicks and bruises there? Just kind of curious about that.
Lachey. Yeah, both those guys came out and couldn't go back. Yeah, Luke was available for like emergency, so I think he'll be okay. Fingers crossed. And then, we'll have to see with Reese. I don't know, he's got a lower leg deal, so I don't even know how many snaps he got, but it was painful, so he backed out of there.
And then my other question was with Caleb Johnson. Mason Richmond said that Caleb's really learned how to run angry, but not angry as teammates are angry about anything else, but he just runs angry with an aggression. Can you kind of explain the maturity process that you've seen over the last couple of years and how he's kind of learned to balance running angry but being focused on the right things?
He's always been talented, and I think this year a couple things. I mean, he's more focused on the right things, and there's a lot. Every position's got a lot of things they have to be wired into. So I think he's got a better approach there, just in general terms. I've always said, usually year 3 is like a year where guys really start to come into their own. There's exceptions and everything, but that's usually a big year. And I still think, he's had a lot of good runs since then, but I think one of the most encouraging things I saw was week 2 in that 4-minute. We were trying to bleed the clock. And there were 2 runs he had where he moved it, 5, 6, 7 yards, and it was blocked for 1 maybe. So to me, that was like, okay, this is a good sign. He's starting to figure out how to use what he has. And as you saw, I mean, he'll step through tackles. If you can get him through there, he'll step through tackles. It's really tough for them to bring him down. And he's really doing a good job finishing runs. So he's been delightful. And he showed off today. His high school coach was here, who actually brought him up here about 3 years ago, I guess it would have been. Helped keep him from going to Cal, thank goodness.